What's up, everybody? Patrick Cooke here. Look, if you know me, if you've met me, if you've followed my content, if you've ever worked with me, you know I'm one of the most loving, compassionate, sensitive people in the world. And it's precisely because of that I am pissed off. I'm angry at what is happening in the world right now. Now, let me clarify. There's two types of anger, in my opinion. One comes from unconscious, unresolved trauma, emotional wounds manifesting in a negative way. But the second, and this is what I'm referring to now, comes from something you love and cherish in the world being harmed. And this is why I'm angry. Because things in the world are being harmed needlessly. Our freedom is being harmed. Our freedom is being taken away. The environment, nature itself, of which we are an intrinsic part, is being harmed. These are two examples of things that are happening in the world right now. So, I've spent the last couple of years investigating, inquiring about what I can do about it. How can I take responsibility? How can I use the breadth of my talent, my wisdom, my energy, my love to make a positive impact in the world? And by impact, I don't mean what a lot of people throw this word around. Oh, I want to make impact. What they're really saying is I want to make money. I want to do what's best for me. I want to make profit. That's what they mean by impact. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about creating a world that is true and beautiful and just for us all to live in. The type of world that we all want to live in. The type of world that I want to leave to my children. And so to that end, I've created a space, a container, specifically for this reason. A place where we can communicate, where we can gather, where we can collaborate, where we can speak freely. Because these are challenging times, and many of us, myself included, have felt incredibly isolated, ostracized, marginalized, for speaking our minds, for questioning mainstream narrative, for having the audacity to go against what our political leaders are saying. And many of us are feeling unheard, unseen. And so the question keeps coming back to, what can I do? And the number one thing you can do is take responsibility for your own life. Take responsibility for your own awakening, for your own self-awareness, for your own healing. And so the principles that I think are most important are waking up, becoming conscious of your own self, developing and cultivating self-awareness, which means looking at your unconscious beliefs, your limiting beliefs, your trauma, your emotional wounds, your conditioning, your programming, the way you've been shaped by your upbringing, the beliefs and values that you hold dear did not come from you. They came from somebody else. Most likely your parents, who were influenced by their parents, who were influenced by the media, by politics, by the world that they grew up in. So there's an ancestral line of conditioning that gets passed down through our culture. And it's time to analyze that, because it's not working. The world is in shambles and it's deteriorating very quickly. So becoming aware, becoming conscious, taking full responsibility, cultivating self-awareness, aligning with a sense of life purpose, harnessing your creative power, gathering the tools and techniques to truly make sense of the world, not just follow the mainstream media narrative, and also not fall into the conspiratorial traps and rabbit holes that are keeping us polarized and divided and separated. Now, people often talk about this they are doing this. They are trying to rule the world. They are pushing these medical interventions. Who are they? That's another good question. They are the unresolved in us. Let me say that again. They are not some evil entity out there trying to oppress the world. They are the unresolved in us. We are all connected. And whatever we are allowing, we are proliferating in the collective field, which means trauma over generations. Collective trauma in the collective field is what's allowing for the people at the top to oppress, to manipulate, to seek power and control. So taking responsibility and saying, I am allowing this to happen by not doing my own work of awakening and healing and becoming aware. So this is where the responsibility comes in. If you're pissed off about what's going on in the world right now, just like I am, if you're upset with the direction the world is taking, if you're upset that the environment's being destroyed, people are suffering needlessly, starving, then the number one thing you can do about it is take responsibility. Not blame, not shame, not guilt. You take responsibility. And there's so much power in that when we take responsibility as individuals. So this is why I've created a container for people like you, for people like me, to gather and support each other in awakening, in becoming conscious, in taking responsibility, in aligning with a sense of life purpose that is best for you and your family and your financial freedom and your highest excitement and your highest joy, your purpose that is in alignment with the best of everybody on the planet. Because the system we've been brought up into invites you to do what's best for you at all costs. And magnify this into business and corporations. We have corporations running wild who are doing everything in their power to maximize their bottom line, to maximize shareholder profit. That's an extension of that, played out writ large in the world. So again, the things you can do are take responsibility for your own awakening, your own self-awareness, your own healing, align with your life purpose, harness your creative power. Each of us have creative power. We've been convinced that we don't. Gather the tools and the community to properly make sense of the world, not just align with some polarized tribe that subscribes to your existing biases. Because now, more than ever, it is so important to open a dialogue that is truthful and honest, that is seeking higher truth, not just arguing for polarized, partial views of reality and being vilified if your view goes against anything that your tribe proposes or promotes. The end goal here is for each individual to become as healed and awakened and aware and aligned with their purpose, and cultivating a sense of sovereignty and agency within themselves, where they're no longer dependent on somebody outside of them to tell them what to do, tell them what to think, tell them where to go, tell them what to fear. because we are being manipulated by the people who seek power and control. They're not interested in your health. So, with this in mind, I've created a group called the Chrysalis. Some of you might have heard of it. Many of you are a part of it already. It's beginning to gather momentum. It's a place where we convene twice a month to have live calls to support each other in our own personal growth, in our own awakening, in our own alignment with power, in harnessing our creative power, aligning with purpose, I should say, being able to make sense of the world free from bias and agenda and propaganda, and to create a sense of sovereignty within ourselves and a sense of community where we're actually making a difference in the world, and how that can manifest, how that can ripple out and actually make positive impact, not just the pursuit of individual profit or desire. So if this resonates for you, I'm holding a free workshop this Wednesday, September 15th at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, about this exactly: aligning with your purpose, harnessing your creative power. And there will be an invitation to join us in the Chrysalis. The Chrysalis is my conscious online membership community where we meet twice a month on live calls. There's a stable of core training videos to help you along this process, and a thriving online community where we can talk freely without censorship outside the realms of big tech, to truly foster a community where people are doing this difficult work. So if this resonates for you, if you're feeling isolated, if you're feeling angry, if you're feeling like the black sheep of your family or your community, this is a safe harbor for you. Come and join us. Explore yourself at the deepest level. Speak your mind, speak your truth with the desire, with the intention of becoming the best version of yourself for yourself and your family and humanity and life at large. And the more of us that can do this, we will cultivate a cultural conscious revolution from the bottom up. Because the answers to the problems we're facing are not going to come from a top-down authority. They're too corrupt. They're too captured. It doesn't matter who you vote in. Nothing is going to change until you change yourself. So this is an invitation. This is a challenge. Join me in this free workshop. If it resonates for you, join the Chrysalis. It's a low monthly membership, specifically made that way to allow as many people in as possible who are willing to show up for themselves and humanity at this critical time. This is a wake-up call. So I invite you. I'll put the link either in my bio or in the comment below. Join me for this workshop, Wednesday, September 15th, 7 p.m. Eastern. Align with your purpose and your creative power so we can actually make a difference in the world. All right. If this resonates for you, please share it. This is super important at a critical time in the history of our species. I love you. I'll talk to you soon.